This is the Fighting Irish Faithful Show, special Wednesday daylight edition. Usually not the time or the day or the hour in which we do a show. However, this is no ordinary week. This is trash week, as you can hear the trash can background. But we are joined proudly in the studio with two-time national champion coach Ara Parseghian is in with us. Welcome to the show.
It is great to be here, and I posted this earlier. Photos you've posted in the past on Twitter X of this studio do not do it justice. This is very well done, very well put together.
Ooh, thank you. Yeah, no, we've had some upgrades. Like when year one was going on, we have like a spare dining room table, whatever, which is now like a crafty sewing thing up in the loft. So that was here. I had like a laptop and the other computer. You can see the big tall one over there in the corner that's just collecting dust. That was all. So I had two things going on, and the first show I ever did was terrible in the sense that it didn't have. I had a different microphone, and it like the input was not correctly set. So I did an entire show using the audio of the laptop, and it just sounds terrible. And then we fixed it for episode 2 or whatever. But yeah, I'm glad you're here. We've talked about. I think I messaged you a long time ago, months ago. Definitely, I think in the spring. But hey, when you're coming up here,
it was springs to summer-ish. It was in that transition.
I think so, like May. It was Indiana. I remember I was outside, so I was probably grilling. So it was fairly nice weather, and we should have nice weather for the game this week. So
everything I've looked at, it should be perfect.
It's gonna be nice,
sunny
warm in South Bend,
warm to cold in the evening, but South Bend weather.
Yeah,
October.
That'll be really nice. So, but yes, we are joined by Coach Parseghian in studio. I feel like sometimes I take you for granted on the show because you always have good takes, but then I'm always trying to get like other people on, and then you have to patiently wait. So how many of those people are here live, right? So
exactly.
So you are in a elite fraternity with I think only 3 other people. So 5-0 Pod, Dom, and Red Snapper. So
it would be interesting if we could get like Captain C's on the 5-0 Pod jerseys for the select crew.
Oh man, yeah, that's true. Although that would be like if we're on his show, right?
It could go both ways.
It could tend to go both ways. I don't know. Well, we brought 5-0.
There's obviously crossover.
There is a lot of crossover, and then you throw Dos Leprechauns in there, which I've actually never met Jason from Dos Leprechauns, which is weird because I run the show under his flagship banner. So there it is. So Mike, if you're there, you're on mute, or maybe you're out on a call. What's up?
What's going on?
Oh, hang on. We got to do the Nintendo thing.
Pick up the kid from school.
Okay. So, so you have plenty of time to pour yourself a Rolling Rock or something, right?
Oh, dude, plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, I saw you messaging me live, and I'm like, I'm just sitting here done with my work day, so let's have some fun.
That's right. That is the goal here. Fun.
But as long as Coach is keeping my seat warm for next time I'm there, we're good.
Absolutely.
No, this is a different chair because Mike, remember you were in the chair that falls backwards and you think like you're gonna die.
Oh yeah, but I'm not big enough to actually tip it over.
I don't even think Coach Parseghian is either. But yeah, that's the one behind you. It's actually really stable. It just doesn't have a lock when you lean back.
There's ours at work or like
this is like an old timey. It should be in some like cigar ridden pool bar type of place.
Okay.
Like one of those like green lamp desks, with like the leather top.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like an old style bookie.
An accountant's.
A clear visor.
Yes.
Yeah. Green clear visor. Yeah, that's what that chair
pulling
represents.
the handle on the old vintage adding machine from the early 1900s.
Do it. Yes. But anyway, and that is how the spreadsheet used to be done until recently when we upgraded. So Anyway, so Coach, this is your first visit to campus?
Yes.
Awesome. Are you excited?
Very.
Very. What are you, other than obviously going to a game in South Bend? What else are you looking forward to? I'll kind of just give you the floor of
the stadium itself, which will be tomorrow morning at 9 for the North Tunnel experience, and then a mental list, because I've never sat and written it out, but a mental list of all the hot spots.
Okay.
The grotto, the basilica, the dome, the library, Fair Catch Corsby, all of it.
First Down Moses.
All of it. Every bit of it.
Excellent.
My grave, personally.
Your grave.
All of it.
Well, I'm excited for you. I think someone who went there and whatnot. Like, I remember my first visit to campus. I was actually in high school. I was at the football camp, and then I actually stayed in a dorm, whatever. But like after practice, one night I just kind of like, I'm just gonna kind of walk around a little bit, and so that was like kind of like my real first experience or whatnot at Notre Dame. So, well, that's great. I'm excited for you and whatnot. So you're getting up there tonight. You got basically 2 days on campus before the game on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So you'll be able to show me around probably, because there's always construction going on, and be like, oh yeah, that's the new dorm for da da da. Yeah, I don't know. Well, good. Well, should we? What do you think of the Cardinal? Should we talk about that, or we didn't get a whole lot of your thoughts last night? That's by design, because I don't think anyone was expecting Luis to jump on last night. And
I made the comment to Joe when I got here: who needs Lou Holtz when you have Luis?
Yeah,
that sucker.
That guy was off the hook. I think he was shouting into his phone
for a good 3 to 4 minutes. It was this passionate. Pro Notre Dame with a little bit of the LA Raiders mixed into it.
Yeah, I felt like I was back at home.
He could motivate anybody to have beaten the dog piss out of Northern Illinois.
Have you listened to the replay? I started listening. I had to run some errands today, and so I replayed and I wanted to listen to that part. And I started listening to it, and I got way more out of it the second go around than last night live.
More people started jumping on when he was in the middle of that rant just to hear him.
It was awesome. We need to get Luis back on here for sure. Yeah, that was amazing. So yeah, I think I think he's from LA or something, or California, but he works in Reno. He
got to meet Tim Brown, and his son got to meet Tim Brown.
I've never met
when
Tim
he became
Brown.
Raider fan and Notre Dame diehard for life.
Tim Brown was a Raider, so I mean, yeah, let's more power to him. So all right, so that was cool. So yeah, Luis was a fun highlight last night. So we wanted to get his input. We always like it when new people are on. But we didn't really get your take of where Notre Dame is now, and then also going into this Stanford game. Like, is this a real like pivotal game for you? I saw someone else, I won't name names here, but someone said Notre Dame is at a crossroads. I thought that was the Louisville game, okay, and we clearly got through that. We should coast through. Don't want to put words in your mouth, but in my opinion, we should coast through the rest of these games, and then the real test for the regular season is the Trojans at the end. There may be some stumbling blocks with Navy, but that's like every other season, right?
I think from everything I heard last night, Stanford is not very good at running the ball. Mm-mm. We have a spectacular passing defense. Now, again, it was also that way compared to Northern Illinois, but on paper, we should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm 2-0 in person at Notre Dame games. If they screw this up for me.
Uh-oh.
But we should be fine. And I've said that before.
Yeah.
This season, I have said that before.
Did you say that before the Northern Illinois game?
Yes. And I said it before the Marshall game.
Okay. Ooh. Ugh.
So I've said it before a lot of games that we've lost and a lot of games that we've won.
Yes.
But
yeah, I mean, this is the Northern Illinois
I can
section.
understand people's, we're at a crossroads outlook on it, because there are times when Notre Dame under Freeman has shown up at home, and they don't really show up.
Right.
So I can understand the pause for concern with a game like this.
I think really with Freeman, he just has to make sure he has 11 people on the field, number one. Okay. And then, sorry, I couldn't resist. But that's one thing he needs to do, obviously, clearly, hey, step one. And then, what the heck? Oh my gosh, it's my pastor calling in. I'll call him back. That's odd. He has never called me before. Maybe because he knows I'm running a meeting tonight. Sorry, Father Todd. It's okay. He doesn't really pay attention to this stuff. But anyway, that was so random. Of all the people to call me right now, not my pastor. And I just hung up on him. That's fine. I'll go to confession. Where was I? I'm totally off. Take over, co-host. Go for it.
The pause for concern because of how Notre Dame has a tendency to not show up. You mentioned make sure they have 11 players on the field, and that's when your pastor called.
Oh my gosh!
So
yeah, maybe he's.
I have no idea what your train of thought was.
He is a priest there. Sometimes I don't even know what my train of thought is either. But I mean, statistically, look, we went through a lot of stuff. Like so. Let me color code this. In this column, this is the stats of the champions. Yellow is offense, blue is defense. You got the like blue and gold kind of vibe going on here. Green, a green color for a stat. 5'0" pod is like nodding. Right now he understands what's going on. So is Dom.
Be careful. Be careful. Though, there's a test later, so make sure you got to be careful.
It's a color blindness test. That's all it is. But the green means that said team is better than the national champion. So like, for example, third down defense, right? This means that the national champion over the last 10 years was 18.2 rank, and the actual value of their third down defense was 31.5%. So Notre Dame is better. They're 10th in the country currently, and 28.57% on third down defense, right? So that's clearly better. And then so Notre Dame is always the left column, and their opponent is the right column. So then you do Stanford. So this is how I do an easy comparison, left and right here. So when you see a lot of green or yellow here in the Notre Dame column, then okay, statistically that's good. Now, what's funny is if you do last week, this was Louisville here. There's a lot of green and yellow for Louisville, and then Notre Dame, they don't take the cake on a lot of those statistics, right? But then it's like, okay, we'll jump up to some of these stats, right? Look at their strength of schedule for Louisville. It was 143. Notre Dame was 37. Now Notre Dame's strength of schedule is 53, and that's because our opponents aren't winning, okay? And then look at Stanford, right? With their strength of schedule here. But their strength of schedule is better.
That's usually because Stanford doesn't win.
Well, that's the problem, right? Well, and they're ranked 94th in Sagarin, right? As we found out, right? So they're still struggling. I think Troy Taylor, their coach, is still growing in a Stanford program that also changed conferences. I'd be curious if the Pac-12 was still intact and it was kind of that still same kind of old guard, and you didn't have all these players transfer this, that, or the other. How Stanford would be doing under Troy Taylor if they were still in the Pac-12 versus the university has to scramble and basically join the ACC with Cal. I don't know.
Well, here's what's crazy. You're looking at a so rebuilding Clemson team possibly being the ACC champion.
I mean, I would like that just because I hate Miami, but yeah, fuck that team. But
well, without the refs, Miami is very beatable.
That is 100% correct. But we can go to the statistics, on offensive stuff. Miami is not a slouch on some of this stuff. They're number 2 behind Boise in scoring offense. You know what I'm saying? So my Broncos, vibes are.
Do you think their running back gets the Heisman?
Boise?
He deserves it. At this point.
So that's an interesting question. I think it was McCaffrey or somebody with Stanford had way more yards than who was it at Alabama? Maybe like Trent Richardson or whoever, one of those guys that won the Heisman. And I remember doing a comparison of yards and touchdowns and things of that nature, and it wasn't even close. McCaffrey was better. Okay, but he didn't get the Heisman because he wasn't the best player on the best team, right?
Well, Brady Quinn won the Maxwell Award for the best player in college football, but he didn't.
So did Manti Te'o.
But he didn't get the Heisman because he wasn't on the number 1 ranked team.
Yeah. So I think, and there has to be this wow whiz bang factor with it. Like, Boise is not in the national consciousness, and so if Boise is under the spotlight, which is unfortunately, in the logo of ESPN spotlight, then I worry that he's like, I forget who it was, like one of these years. This is going way back. I couldn't even tell you who it was, but it was some quarterback for like Hawaii, and he threw up like an insane amount of yards. Like, we're talking like Joe Burrow numbers. Okay,
I know who you're talking about, but I can't place his name.
Neither can I. But the point is, that guy put up a crazy amount of numbers, but because he was at Hawaii and they had kind of a ho-hum year, right? No one cares.
Colt Brennan.
It was Colt Brennan. So that's the problem per se with the Heisman. Like, look at Caleb Williams. Now, I would argue also the year that Caleb Williams won it was, quote, a down year. But why did he win the Heisman? Because he played really well on one night when ESPN had the game, and it was against Notre Dame. Okay, and that's why he won the Heisman, right? Mm-hmm. And that's just a fact. Do I like it? Of course not. I think the guy is a piece of shit. But other than that, it's like, it is what it is. So,
well, what kind of grown man paints his fingernails?
A strange one, that's for sure. So, well, we lost 5'0" Pod. He probably had to go pick up his kid from school or whatnot, or baseball practice or something. I saw Dom on here. Invite you to speak if you so wish. Domison X has been invited to speak, or maybe he's just listening, but that's fine. 2 other listeners. Oh, what's this? Okay, maybe can you listen and you're not online? I don't know that. We got Jay here. Jay, I don't know if you're working or if you wanna speak. You tend to be just a listener, which is fine too. There's always William. I know William's going to jump on, so we'll invite him to speak. Anyone and everybody is invited. But Jay, I see you there. You're on mute. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this weekend, big time.
Yeah, absolutely. When are you coming in?
We fly to Chicago Friday, and then getting up early Saturday morning, 6 Central, so 7.
Yeah.
7 Eastern, and then we'll drive over.
Brilliant. No, you'll be in South Bend at a good time there, I think, out there on the toll road. So good. Hope you have safe travels. Absolutely. Now, Jay, you've been to Notre Dame before, correct?
I was born and raised there. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So yes, the short answer.
Before Joyce was named Joyce, as a matter of fact.
Okay. What was it before it was the Joyce Center?
It was just the ACC, Athletic and Convocation.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then each arena had its own special name, and then when they rededicated it Joyce after their renovations, then all that went away.
Right. I think my baby wants to come in and podcast with us, that's for sure. But Jay, are you excited to meet all these people finally in person? Just like, we see each other on social media, and now it's like we're finally actually gonna, like, it's almost like awkward, like a first date, but not quite as awkward because it's not a romantic thing.
Absolutely, but I'm the introvert in public, so. And, well, at least until the game starts.
I was gonna say, like, you got some pretty important things to say during the game. You didn't look too shy in some of those photos you posted about you at the Rams game here. So.
Oh yeah, once the game starts, I'm in a completely different mindset.
Okay. Well, hopefully our tailgate, it's intended to be a friendly place, and since we have people like Coach or Stevie D. Irish, who's coming in. I think he's flying in tomorrow from Ireland. There's people who have not had the quote-unquote game day experience. My plan, and I'll have my wife and children with me, right? So our plan is we'll start tailgating early, and then probably around that 12:30, 1 o'clock time frame, probably close things down to see player walk, and then like the band and some of these other things. So,
because I'm relying on your schedule. Since you,
and I've got to brush up on it too, and I'll have children, so that means I got to give myself more time. But Nah, the where we are is not too bad. It's not the best as far as location. Obviously, the best would be in like Joyce Lot or something, but I could not get a Joyce Lot pass. It was already like sold out when I got in, and I got alumni tickets. So go figure. So that's unfortunate. But here we are, and if I'm hoping that if we're there, parked, flag and banners up, and tailgate up, before 9 a.m., I think we're in good shape. You got some solid time for some hydration and some eating and socialization. So that's the way it rolls. Jay, are you parking in Whitefield?
Blue lot.
Blue lot? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that'll be a straight shot for you. You'll get off the toll road, literally drive straight across, and you'll be in. So good. Excellent. Well, any questions for Coach or, like some Ara Parseghian trivia? I actually was thinking of doing some of that kind of stuff, but I decided against it. And
you're treating me like the old sports AM radio guy that's got famous athlete X. Like, do you have a question for the coach, or can we go to the next caller?
That's not exactly where I went. Maybe subconsciously that's what I'm doing, but that's... Well, when is the next time I'm going to get you in the studio? Like, what other options do I have?
Touche.
I'm not trying to zing you here. I'm just like, well, good. Awesome. Well, I do have this to say about our rankings, and we didn't really talk about this. This is over. I'm trying to pull ESPN up here. I have a note from yesterday of all the upsets, and you can see I crossed it off because we didn't do it.
It makes me wish that I had at least put like $50 on Vandy. I know that.
Oh my gosh, but I don't even know what that would have paid out.
I would have had a lot of pocket change for this weekend.
Let's go to the bookstore. Yep, exactly. No, there were a ton of upsets that we saw, which was really fun. The Vandy one, I think, was the craziest one. Goalposts are coming down the whole bit. There was talk of Ohio State falling to Iowa, but I think only 5'0" pod would.
Tennessee didn't really shock me that much. Arkansas,
me neither.
They've had 2 bad games, but Arkansas is still a decent team.
They are, and I think Arkansas is one of those programs that's hungry to get back into the.
They are trending in the right
level.
direction.
They are, absolutely. So Arkansas was fun, and I got to see the end of the Arkansas game, which is cool. Did they take the goalpost down in Arkansas too?
Apparently,
they did.
Oh,
yeah,
weird. Okay,
which they shouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like the Vandy one is like Vandy has been the doormat of the SEC always.
Which is why I never understood why people are saying the NIU loss is worse than losing to Vanderbilt.
Because Vandy's still an SEC team, and it's SEC bias, right?
I guess. I don't know. What is like IU's pretty good this year, so that's not a good example. But like in the past, IU has been terrible at football.
Well, it's like Rutgers being in the Big Ten. It's like
that's just confusing. But no, you're 100% right. Like if Ohio State say drops one to Rutgers, right? Is Rutgers is Ohio State gonna really drop that much? They should. It's Rutgers, but I don't know.
Well, it's like we went to computers in the BCS because it's like the pollsters are too biased. Now we've gone back to pollsters, including with the playoff. We went back to people after trying to go to the BCS and computers to fix the problem.
I actually personally like the computers, but I'm also the one with the spreadsheet here. There was something I wanted to look at because Miami's had a lot of close games and the refs have had some home cooking for them or this, that, and the other. There was something I wanted to do, and we're going to do this on the fly here. I know this is probably bad radio or bad podcasting, what have you. So Miami has a scoring offense of 47.7, okay? I'm curious their scoring defense because they have a lot of close games, okay? And so the margin of the victory in those games, it's not like Ohio State, where Ohio State has a legit defense, right? Their opponents are being limited to 6.8 points per game. But Miami, not a Miami of Ohio. Oh, man, we're not even that
There
good.
you are.
So 18.8. Okay, well, that doesn't even feel like it's telling the story right,
Well, I mean, even Saccharin has Miami at 10th.
Yeah, and what's their strength of schedule? I don't even know.
Strength of schedule
65.
65th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So that is worse than Notre Dame, which is cool. Hooray for our side. But I mean, so Miami's scoring margin is 28.9. Maybe the better way to look at this of these more recent close games, not that I want to spend a whole lot of time in Miami because I really don't, but like they beat Cal by 1 point, right? The Virginia Tech thing is like a real like questionable call, right? It's like, and even then it's like, well, it's called touchdown, but then there's no conclusive video evidence really either way, so we're just gonna cancel it, right? I don't know. The whole thing just stinks to high heaven with Miami, which I don't like. Now it was fun to after I put the kids to bed, seeing Minnesota and see them knock off USC. So that was fun as well. So
welcome to the Big Ten.
yeah, exactly. Oh, it's cold out here. It probably wasn't even that cold. Like people are in shorts and t-shirts in Minnesota, and the players are wearing long sleeves or whatever. Like it's a game in South Bend in November. So I don't know. But yeah, the upsets. I think. Let me ask you this question, Coach. If those upsets don't happen, is Notre Dame at the ranking there or now?
Obviously not.
I don't think so either. I think they're outside of the top 12 now, which even then that seems misleading because now you've got multiple teams in said conferences like the SEC or the Big Ten that are in there.
It's one of those. If I could vote, I would not have put Notre Dame inside the top 15. I would have left them at 15 at the highest. But beneficiary of the loss, Notre Dame gets to move up.
Yeah. I said during the right after we lost and we started after the Purdue win and whatnot, I made a comment that like the best thing, quote unquote, about the Northern Illinois loss is it's so early in the season. Because the recency bias is a real thing, especially at the end of the year. And so if you just move the schedule around and say that was near the end of the season, like third to last game of the season, there's no way Notre Dame makes the playoffs. But if that loss is earlier in the season, then yeah, you can still make the playoffs. It does depend on what happens above you, right? You need some big names to drop more recently, but at the end of the day, just keep winning, baby.
Okay, so we know Alabama will more than likely still have to play Arkansas.
Yep.
Let's say Arkansas doesn't win, but they keep it close like Vandy did.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say Auburn, as they have 2 of the last 3 years,
We'll pull up the Tide schedule.
keeps it close.
Are they? No, they're not even playing.
Oh, they don't
this
meet
year.
Arkansas?
They don't meet Arkansas. They got South Carolina tomorrow. Saturday. Gosh, it's only Wednesday.
They've still got to get through Tennessee, which they probably will.
Yeah. They get to beat up my. Oh, they
See,
are playing Kelly at LSU. They are
Okay.
playing down Death Valley. So.
Missouri lost to, who was it?
Missouri.
South Carolina, wasn't it?
No, Texas A&M.
A&M. Okay.
Which is good for us, right?
Well, A&M is still on paper and on video a very good football team.
Yeah, they have one loss and it's
So,
to us, and they've been
how does
pounding.
Missouri-
They've been pounding people ever since. I guess
Missouri
they snuck by bullying.
drops over 10 spots.
Yeah,
Make that make sense. Now they got thumped into the ground.
They got
Pine
thumped.
in. Put Pine in.
What's that?
Time to put Pine in at Missouri. Time to put Pine in at Missouri.
He's riding the bench, isn't he, right now?
Riding the pine.
He's gotten in a couple games early, and he has a really high rating as a quarterback.
Oh my gosh, Drew Pine. Phil Jurkovec isn't still playing somewhere, is he?
Surely not.
Like maybe he's over at like Penn or something.
Did he
like
get
that.
a COVID year?
Some IVID. Who didn't get a COVID year, right? I didn't. Did you get a COVID? I didn't get a COVID year, but
No, we had to work through it.
I exactly. I was working the whole time. I was in manufacturing. We're making defense parts for the military. It's like you go to work, you sissy. Anyway, nothing against anybody who had to work from home, right? It's not what I'm saying. It's just like, I'm just kind of.
As long as Drew Pine isn't 25 and on his like fifth school.
DJ Uyangalele down at MS or FSU.
Did you see that banner that somebody had hung up?
No.
It was like, take your quarterback back or something like that to Clemson.
He was at Oregon State last year, which is odd. Oh, man. Between the COVID year, transfer portal, and NIL, it's a brave new world. It's not. The lines are not clearly divided as they used to be. Now, it is interesting. I saw this comment on X where someone said, by having the transfer portal and NIL, this has now kind of evened the playing field at a lot of these universities. Because let's face it, everybody has money. Like IU last year, or I did this analysis a while ago, so it's not in the spreadsheet, but IU made more money as a football program than Notre Dame did from just their TV deal. Just their TV deal. I'm not talking like the whole deal. I'm saying the Big Ten Network and IU and what they got versus what Notre Dame got individually as.
I was gonna say, unless it's signed merchandise by Bobby Knight.
Yeah, no, and even then they treat him like a leper, which is unfortunate because he basically built that program, in recent years, and they haven't been worth shit ever since. But that's a hot topic in this house for another time, behind Gonzaga. But as you can see, there's some Gonzaga paraphernalia in here. Mm-hmm. But that's a ball signed by Adam Morrison, by the way, which is pretty tight. So. Anyway, college basketball aside, and William, I see your hand up. We'll get to you real quick here. We'll just finish up with Jay, or we'll just bring you on with Jay. How about we do that? But you're on mute, so it's all good. Having the transfer report, like college football is a little more even, I think, and so you're going to see like the IUs and some of these other schools from these other conferences. Maybe Vandy makes a run. I don't know. Clark Lee is not a bad, terrible coach. I think he's just in kind of a he's just down in a hole, right? And can he get out? Now I don't know the particulars of what happened in that game because I've watched zero highlights of it other than some goalpost.
I had read somewhere recently in the last day or two that Alabama's defense, especially their passing defense, was very, very predictable. And I don't remember where I saw who had tweeted something to that effect, but it was insinuated that Alabama's passing defense was predictable as far as what they were going to do based on the call.
I mean, Alabama is ranked 61st in the country in passing defense, which
is not good for Alabama.
It's not good, right? And we can go back. Let's see where they were last year, right? They made a playoff run. They were 24th. They were 17th in 2022, and no, they weren't that great. They were 50th in 2021. So okay.
Well, I mean, think about it. They start off with freshmen and sophomores every other year because of either transfer portal or NFL draft. So
well, and they also probably have 4 and 5 star guys that are coming in. So it's just like recycling the
next
pipeline.
man in.
Yeah. How many gray shirts do they have to have because they have just this abundance of embarrassment of riches as far as good players, right? So, and which is a place that we would love Notre Dame to get to, and who was it? D lineman guy has only played like a game and only got a handful of tackles. I forget who it was, but this past week or two, he enters the transfer portal, right? Because he's not getting the playing time. He can't crack into the roster, beyond maybe the scout team or whatever, and so he's going to transfer. And it's like, yeah, okay. And I go back to the Deuce Knight thing. I said this last night. Deuce Knight's probably not coming to Notre Dame because he's got to be behind at least 2 other guys in Minchie and Carr, and or he's afraid that Notre Dame's going to go to the portal again next year. Hopefully not.
You get away from the QB transfer portal every year, and you get guys that are like maybe sophomores, maybe a junior, but sophomores getting their start and getting 2, possibly 3 years out of it. You'll have guys, if the success follows, they'll be willing to wait.
Yeah.
As long as they're winning then.
Yeah.
They can see on the depth chart, okay, because it was that way at Alabama under Saban from since 09.
Yeah.
McCarron was there for the first one in 09 and waited.
And he waited
his time out till finally in 2011 he got the nod.
2012, yeah. Exactly.
So,
well, and look at Mac Jones. He was there for years behind Tua Tagovailoa and what's the other guy's name? Ended up going
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, thank you. Yeah, and so he's behind those guys, two very, very good quarterbacks. And then all of a sudden, who's this Mac Jones guy? And then statistically on paper, he destroys everybody else. Now it helps when you have Devontae Smith, right? But that's the kind of thing, is patience can be rewarded in college if it's under the right system and you have the right guy, and if you have a right guy in a coach like Saban that says, look, you're gonna learn from your mistakes, you're gonna learn from these other guys, you'll do really well, and then when it's your time, you will have the keys to the car. And you'll go in there, take names, and kick ass, right? And that's what happened. So I would love for Notre Dame to get to that position. Whether or not Carr is that guy or Minchie or whatever, I don't know. If anyone's a flight risk, I think it's going to be Minchie. And I don't know what the deal is with Angeli as far as his eligibility. I imagine he still has one more year. Whether or not he wants to transfer, I actually don't know the answer to that. Now, I have a bias where it's like I don't want anyone to transfer because I want everyone to stay at Notre Dame because we love Notre Dame, want them to get their degree, this, that, and the other. So who knows, and I would also argue, do you want to be part of a winning football team at a place you like, that you've been part of and very familiar with, or do you want to go somewhere else and just for the sake of playing time and then just be disappointed like Tyler Buckner was?
Per what I just looked up, Angeli is a redshirt sophomore.
Jeez. Okay, so he's got a little bit of time still.
He very well could transfer.
He could transfer, or he could just duke it out and just, hey, I'm just going to be the old stalwart here. And we don't know. Like, Riley Leonard could get hurt in the game tomorrow. I'm not putting, knock on wood or whatever. Or maybe we don't want to knock on wood. Sorry. I was the one who made jokes about him getting pushed downstairs, So, how do we fix this problem? I don't know. Is there a flight of stairs nearby? Sorry. I'm not actively advocating that, but what's up, Jay?
And what's to say Angeli doesn't want his doctorate, just from Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Yeah.
Hey, nothing interrupt you.
What's up, William?
Hey, how are you, everybody?
Are you running like a Bridgeport there? What are you doing there?
Well, honestly, I'm in the cargo hold of a 767 we're working right now, so we're tearing out parts and shit. So I'm gonna be real quick, and I'm
get your paperwork
sorted.
What
I gotta say. Yeah, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna get off. But because I want to hear yours, Jay's, and Coach's opinion on this. How confident do you feel that Notre Dame will win out for the rest of the year versus having another loss or, God forbid, 3 losses total in the season?
How confident are we that Notre Dame wins out?
Yeah.
Do you want to answer that one, Coach? Because I'm just gonna go to a website and say, well, this is what this says, and
Georgia Tech makes me nervous, but thank goodness it is at a neutral field. Theoretically,
neutral.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to travel for that. They just have to get on the bus. So,
but it's going to be Notre Dame fans filling up the Mercedes-Benz.
Popcorn's going to be like $19,
and beer's going to be over $10.
But they've got a Chick-fil-A in the stadium, so
There's a Chick-fil-A at Notre Dame on campus, just not during the game.
This is in Mercedes Stadium.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. So.
But Georgia Tech makes me nervous, but USC is still that one game that can be like the Iron Bowl where it can go either way no matter how good each team is or isn't.
Especially after playing in New York City the weekend before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you guys are okay with a 2-loss season.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh, not okay, but you're saying it's going to be a 2-loss season.
No, I'm not saying that
I'm
either.
saying it's very possible. It depends on which Notre Dame team shows up. The team that defensively held strong against Louisville, or the team that sleptwalked through Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
So
They just slept in that game,
and it could very well happen against one of the service academies, as good as they are playing right now.
They are playing very well.
So
I don't think we'll lose the Army. If there's anyone that's going to upset us, it's going to be the usual Navy.
Very well could be.
Currently, we're favored. We're favored to win out.
But you'll have to say it would be just Navy, not Army, but pretty much almost running the same kind of offense, almost.
The reason why I don't say Army is because we've got new uniforms. We've got those blue gray. We rented. Someone handed us the keys to Yankee Stadium. That.
Thou shalt not be blasphemous.
What are you talking about, blasphemous? It's just a color, blue gray color.
You're talking crap about the last days. Come on, man. Everybody knows that.
I mean, I will have some very specific feelings to share regarding the game in Yankee Stadium later. I don't want to upset my co-host here, who is a Yankee
you sent
fan,
me the link when you got first dibs as a graduate for
I was
tickets.
Like, you want tickets?
Do you think we can afford that after already going to?
I'm just
going
saying,
to South Bend.
It's an invite. You decide what to do.
I would love to
money.
go, but I mean, the crime rate in New York City right now is astronomical. I'd rather avoid it if at all possible.
Yeah. It is the Bronx, so no, I don't.
Coach, you're going to say that it's going to be 2-loss season or 3-loss season?
If we lose again, it will be the last loss of the season. If we lose again,
statistically, it should be a
3-loss season or 2-loss season.
If we lose again, it will be just a 2-loss season. If we lose again, I am just 50-50 on whether that loss will be Georgia Tech or USC.
Fair enough. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm hoping that we were scared straight with that Northern Illinois
game.
As am I. And that we're riding the ship. And I will say this, our starting quarterback, despite all the shit balls we've thrown at him, and that we have given him quite a bit of piles of shit thrown his way, and rightfully deserved. I'm not saying he's immune to it and he's wearing this invisibility cloak. No, that's a Harry Potter reference. But with Riley Leonard, he is trending at least in the right direction. He is starting to connect with his receivers. Okay, is it where he should be as a fifth year guy? Whatever. No,
he's getting ballsier,
but he's getting better, which is all I can ask you to do week in, week out. Right? Lou Holtz, another national champion coach, used to say you don't have to be the best team in America, you just have to be in the best team in the stadium that game, and that's 100% true. And Riley Leonard has looked good, noticeably ever since that Purdue game. Like, when that Purdue game happened, I was like, yeah, this is why he's the starting quarterback. Because what he just did, no one else on that team can do.
Keep running the way he's running it. Just don't make stupid decisions when you are throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Well, if there's ever a game for him to pass well, it's against this team because they have one of the worst pass defenses out there.
They suck.
So this is a good time to open up that playbook and see what he can do.
Yeah, Stanford is 122nd in the country right now in pass defense. Of all the teams we have played, they are the worst, which is funny. At the time, Purdue was the best, but that's because Purdue had only played one game before that in Indiana State. Stanford sucks against the pass. So and if Brian Kelly was our coach, I'd be really nervous about that because he's so pass happy and he just wants to pass it and just sling it and whatnot
to the sideline on the screen.
Oh my gosh, it's just irritating. And so it's like, and so the fact that Denbrock's our OC makes me a little nervous about that. But I mean, Denbrock knows this. He's watching film. He doesn't need me on this podcast telling people, oh yeah, Stanford is averaging their opponent 270 yards and passing, okay, fine. That is a fact, but like let me turn another way. Our passing yardage, okay, we've only averaged 171. So we've averaged 171 yards through the air. Stanford's allowed 270. You see where I'm going with this? So it's like, so there's quite the flip there. Now that's the average for the whole season, right? Like if I this is where I wish we had an intern that we could like do a quick graph of like how is Notre Dame trending from weekend.
Well, how many did Notre Dame throw for in the Louisville game?
Great question. That's where I was just gonna go. Louisville, we had 163 yards, so it's still nothing fabulous. The best game we had with 216 was fucking Purdue, but that's who else was in the game and who else threw passing touchdowns. It was Angeli.
Yep. And he'll do that again this game. He'll
I
take
think
over
so
in the
too.
third quarter.
Like, and that's my hope that come third quarter we're gonna see Angeli and Minchie. I don't think we'll see Carr. I know he's got a hand injury or wherever the hell that is. But
Well, he can do the victory formation snap.
that's fine. Yeah, can he? I don't know. Just put
He did
someone
in
else back
Purdue,
there.
I believe.
Well, he did. Yeah. But I don't know. Like to what coach you've been saying about Riley Leonard, is he trending in the right direction? Yes. Is he? Do I think Riley Leonard is going to go out there? And I would be shocked. Let me put it this way: if Riley Leonard throws for over 250 passing yards, I would be shocked.
So would I, but if he does it, then I will take back everything I said about him.
No, if he gets over 300 yards passing, I'll take back a lot of
If
things.
he can throw more than what Stanford is giving up average, I will take back what I said.
Over under 270. Let's put a poll out there. Will he throw over 270 yards?
I don't care if it's 271.
Okay,
I'll do
that's
it.
fair. That's over.
I'm
That's
saying
you just $1
that's gonna be
there,
a
Michael.
no, absolutely not.
No, you don't.
Joe,
William doesn't think so. Oh, who is that?
It was.
That was
that's
me.
Mike.
It was
Mike's
me.
back.
I just absolutely not. He will not. He's going to get benched. Let's just say that let's play this out. They do well, and we have a repeat of Purdue. He won't make. He'll get over 100, maybe even 150 rushing yards, but
Yeah.
he's not going to go over 200.
Well, that's
I
why
agree with
I'm
that.
that's why I'm so confident in saying that, because I don't think he will.
It's a pretty safe bet here. Yeah. It's what we would like to see, but it's not what we think we'll see. We will see.
No, and here's the thing, and sorry, a work phone call. Apparently, they couldn't get my medication for a patient down in Brownsville. Had to put out some fires.
Is it your
But-
medication?
Well, my company, the medication I sell. So anyway, dude, here's the thing: the Stanford, yeah, I do. Hey, controlled substances legally. Dude, the thing.
That's
the-
because you're
the
wearing
thing
a
with
suit and
Stan-
you carry a briefcase. Other than that, you're just a street. Okay, sorry. Continue.
I don't wear a suit because it's like still 87 degrees here. But no. So Stanford's defense is, like you pointed out, that what are they ranked in rush defense? Something
Bad.
silly. What's that?
Bad.
No,
Like a
their
dark
rush
orange
defense.
color.
No,
Oh,
the
rush
rush defense is
defense.
actually
Oh,
pretty good.
rush defense. No, that's very good. They're 12th
But-
in the country in rush defense
Okay, but you know why?
because they haven't played rushing teams.
Sort of, but no, they're so bad against the pass. Why bother running? They're not actually good if you go by a per play or down to down basis against the run. It's just opponents have figured out that we don't have to run because we can throw for as many yards as we'd like with their 100 and whatever ranked.
This
pass
seems like a
defense.
trap for Notre Dame and Riley Leonard
Well,
on
what,
offense.
what
Can we
I'm
just turn this
saying
into
is,
Tyrone Willingham 2002 and just have the defense score all our points?
I just don't want the idea that they can't stop the pass,
Special
so we need
teams.
to pass the ball.
Where's Zibikowski
No.
and Price?
Just because they can't stop the pass doesn't mean we change what we're doing, because the reality is they're really not that good against the run either. So stick to what you're doing. Let Riley Leonard throw for 150 to 180 and
Hey guys,
do your
sorry,
offense.
Jesus, my phone is playing up. How are you doing?
Hey, Stevie, what's
What's
up,
that?
man?
Not a whole lot. I've just gone into bed now. I'm going to sleep. I'm getting up at just after 2
Oof.
to start making my way. So
Wow. What time is it over there? 10 p.m.?
9.
9. Okay. So you guys are 5 hours. Okay. So it's 9 o'clock. You're going to get some shut-eye. You're going to get on an
Hopefully.
airplane. You're going to fly. Hopefully, yeah. And you're heading down. You're flying to Chicago.
Yeah,
Excellent. Well, good.
yeah.
Good. This is
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, can't wait now. Really looking forward to it. I just finished listening to last night's podcast, and I was just going into bed, and I was like, "Oh Jesus, the lads are live." So
Excellent. Yeah, no, we're looking forward to seeing you and meeting you.
yeah, same here. Can't wait.
You've seen everything in the group chat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Have done.
Hit us up early and often. I don't know what your cell phone situation is.
Yeah, it should be fine. I think.
Okay. I don't know if you got some international plan that's compatible with
Yeah,
the
I do.
FCC
It
here,
was-
but
Yeah, I did the last time I was in America anyway, a few years ago, so it should be fine, hopefully.
okay, good. Well, safe travels to you. Get some good shut eye. You're
Thanks.
probably like You've actually been to campus before, unlike Coach Parseghian here, who actually is like a kid on Christmas morning here, probably. So.
Very much so.
Yeah, yeah. I was back in 2009 for the UConn game,
Ugh.
which we won't mention any more about that. But yeah, no, it was great to see the place. Like I was with a friend of mine who was living over there at the time, and so I got to see a bit of it, not everything. So I'm really looking forward now to being able to go around and kind of take my time and see everything. So we arrived kind of. My girlfriend is coming and she wants to stop at Old Joliet prison on the way, so we're going to do that before we
Did she lose a
before we
bet
get
or
to campus.
something, or?
No, she's into all that kind of old prisons and just photography and stuff. So
Oh,
kind of
okay.
part of the deal was we do some things that she wants, and then once we get to South Bend, she just has to do whatever I want for the
Now we're
few
talking.
days.
Now we're
Yeah.
talking. Well, good. Well, I wish you safe travels. Do you have to like drive up to Dublin or something to?
Yeah. So I
Oh
have to drive to
gosh.
Dublin. So that's not too bad. About 4 hours from here.
Yeah.
4.5 maybe, and
Yeah.
then So yeah, it's fine.
Well, we'll keep your friends on X apprised as to your travels and your journeys here, because we wish you the best, and I'll speak for myself, but I'm very much looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah, same here. Looking forward to meeting everyone. Yourself in particular, obviously, and yeah, no, it's going to be great. Looking forward to meeting everyone and hopefully having a few drinks on Friday night, maybe if people are around. And
there may be a bar
we'll go from there.
situation going on. Stay to X for
Yeah.
further developments, details, and time.
Further developments. That's it. Okay, I'm going to head off. See you guys all Saturday, and hopefully maybe some of you on Friday night as well.
All right, take it easy, Stevie.
Brilliant. Talk soon.
All
Bye.
right. Good night.
See ya.
Good
At
night.
Stevie D Irish on the X, yes, coming in from the Republic of Ireland. One of the definitely getting the trophy for farthest travels.
Absolutely.
And greatest expense probably to travel to get up there. So, we got some West Coast people, but man, you're flying international to come to Notre Dame game just to hang out with us. That's commitment right there, and much appreciated. So
don't fly Spirit. I've heard
don't
it's
fly
terrible.
Spirit.
Right. Yeah, no. Only time I've ever flown Spirit, they aborted the takeoff and taxied us back to the gate, and I never got back on a plane from them.
Forget about it. Well, we're almost an hour in.
The stats.
Yeah, go ahead,
I looked
Jay.
at the stats for Stanford rush defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And outside of the two games that they won, which were Cal Poly and Syracuse, the other teams have averaged 100, 150, 136 yards a game.
On the ground?
Where those two, on the ground. And those two games, it was 25 and 26 yards. So the two games they won, they really held the other team to rushing. But if you look at it on average, the teams that they lost to, like Clemson and Virginia Tech and TCU, they were able to run okay.
Yeah. And Notre Dame, has been and good at rushing the football, quite frankly. Not that we need. I'm more about the effectivity of our rushing rather than just overall yards. I mean, we're 19th in the country in rushing yards, averaging 214 yards a game. We are running 55% of the time, which is cool. What I really like is our rushing attempts per touchdown. Now, obviously, this is a Riley Leonard thing baked into this, but for all the we've had 173 attempts and 15 touchdowns, right? Which gives us an average of 11.5 attempts per touchdown. Every time it takes 11, 12 times, and then boom, we score a touchdown. So national champions average 15.9, basically 16 in that stat. So we're above the rim. Now, obviously there's some garbage teams like Purdue and whatnot where we just torched them on the ground, because they couldn't do jack, and we had, Leonard and Love and Price all with long touchdown runs, which is great. And that really helps with that, as far as the effectivity of said attempt. This isn't like we struggle and put together a long, winded drive and then we just, Ian Book style punch one in at the end. That is not what is happening here. We're it's not quite Josh Adams 33 trucking here of him just gashing USC with these massive holes that you can drive an SUV through. But shit, Coach, you and I could take the ball in those situations in that SC game in 2017, and maybe we couldn't go 40 yards for a touchdown, but you and I could definitely get a first down.
At least before we got caught.
That's fine, oh, man. And then we died like really, really happy, like I ran the ball, I got a first down, so, yeah, good stuff.
Here's my thing with the running though, and I said this on my last show is Leonard's legs are probably the best part of our offense just because of avoidance of sacks and ability to just run the ball and called running plays. And right? Okay, here's the deal. At some point, we have to be aware that that's our best part of the offense, and we're probably going to need him in bigger games than, say, Stanford.
Yep.
So he needs to be under 10 planned runs. And even overall, whether it's a scramble or a planned run, it needs to be under 10 and give the other 15 to 20 to Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. And that's what's confusing me is like I don't feel like they're doing that. They realize Leonard is the best threat offensively with his legs, but if you keep doing that, eventually when you need him against, say, USC, what if he's not there because you ran him into the ground literally? I don't know. But and if you go back to Coach made a comment about USC being a potential loss. They already have 2 losses, USC does.
Thank God.
The rest of their schedule the rest of their schedule doesn't exactly line up for wins. There is a very good chance, and they are a product of the transfer. Yeah, go through the schedule. They got another probably 2 losses at minimum ahead of them.
So you're saying
when they
that
get to the end of the season, they might have given up because that's the reason Florida State is 1-5.
So you're saying they're probably going to take at least 1 or 2 more on the chin, and then all their best athletes are just going to throw the towel in and say, "I'm out of here" because
they don't care.
We suck. And
there's so many transfers that not as much as other teams, but the Florida State issue is if you go and look at who their key producers were supposed to be, it was all portal guys. Yeah. Well, if you start 1-3, I came here for money and to win. Well, we're not winning. I just I'll collect my money, and I'm not going to put my body on the line because the next paycheck is way bigger than anything I can get in college.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like USC is going to fall under that umbrella as well. And so your Georgia Tech take is, I think, legit. I just think USC's by the 12th game, they're going to be checked out because the guys who are the ones making the plays have financially, air quotes, checked out.
Interesting. That's an interesting take. I hadn't thought about that, and that's usually not my analysis, but I really appreciate that that vibe. You had mentioned, Mike, about the rushing threat that Riley Leonard is, which I agree 100%, and that is statistically backed up. He has more carries than anyone else. He has the plurality of carries. He has 59. Jeremiah Love is 57, and there's a huge drop-off to Jadarian Price. Now, I would prefer, moving some of those around and Riley Leonard be the 29 carries personally, just for his overall longevity. But other teams, that are, like say Georgia Tech, right? And I don't know how good Georgia Tech's defense is, but because we haven't played them yet. But what I'm saying is we've said in an earlier shows, and we thought Louisville was going to do it, and they kind of did, kind of didn't. Was just put a spy on him, and like that's your job. Like just where Riley Leonard goes, you go, okay, and that's all you have to do. Notre Dame has not been a threat to run really up the middle between the tackles, and that's a function of our youth and inexperience on the O-line. So you can afford it. I think if I'm a defense and I'm scouting Notre Dame, I'm going to say, look, I'm going to have, it doesn't have to be your middle linebacker, but a fast linebacker kind of guy that has speed. It can even be kind of like a strong safety kind of guy, if that. But someone that can be in the middle that you trust to make tackles during a run, if it's something up the middle, for run support or a quick dump off type pass. But your job is to to spy Riley Leonard. And I don't know, I'm sure there's multiple coaches at the college and professional level. It's like, look, if we can take away, quote unquote, the offense's best thing, then we're putting our defense in a good position, right? So if Notre Dame needs to develop and grow as an offense, we can't, like Riley Leonard running the ball has become the security blanket for Notre Dame. It used to be passing to the tight end. That has gone on the wayside. I don't remember the last time we threw to a tight end that, with conviction, with like, oh, of course, just throw it to Eifert or Tommy Tremble, or you know what I mean? Like we don't have that right now on this team. Obviously we don't have Mike Mayer, right? So those guys are gone. That sort of evolution of the offense is not there. And maybe Denbrock's trying to move away from that. Maybe it's a thing. He doesn't, Cooper Flanagan doesn't have the timing or whatever with Leonard. Who knows? But I think you're 100% right that is the Riley Leonard running thing a sustainable model? And I would agree with you. It's not. Effective, yes. And effective against Stanford, sure. Sustainable in the long run, because we're looking down the road at like an Ole Miss game or something like that in the first round of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? My bold prediction is we're actually not going to be hosting a game, but we're going to be playing at Oregon.
Yeah, well, I'm agree with you there. But yes, you have to, with what we've got, we have to look big picture. And can the Riley Leonard being your number one rusher win a major football game? I don't know. But if you treat every game that way, you're never going to find out, because he's not going to make it there.
Yeah.
And that's my concern. And your spy analogy or your spy idea, I agree. Because the way I look at it, the defensive mindset is, well, if you do a spy, you're basically giving up a defender. Depending on what the play is, you're taking that guy completely out of the play. However,
it's kind of like boxing one, though, at that point.
Yeah, but then you're going to force Riley Leonard to probably throw the ball.
Actually go through his progressions?
Exactly, and he's proven to not be so hot with that, especially if he's moving, etc. So it'll be interesting to see what defenses do. But I will say, and before I get out of here, I do have to run. But Denbrock, to his credit, it took him a couple games, but it's fine. To his credit, he's finally doing the things I've been screaming into a microphone in my bedroom about, is play to the strengths. Who cares what the strengths are? Play to them.
Yeah.
And he is with what Riley Leonard can do. That's great. But at the same time, okay, now that we've seen it,
we want more.
You have to be more selective about when you go to the full extreme.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Stanford's the reason to do it. I don't think, Florida State's the reason to do it. There's certain teams coming up that we don't need that right now, because as we discussed what the running can lead to. So
yeah.
But hey, everybody, please have so much fun that you already start booking flights for next year, so I can be a part of this.
That was a topic last night. Is maybe we should start, preparing for SC at home next year, or something to that effect. So
yes, but you guys have a freaking blast, and Coach, take in everything you can take in at Notre Dame. It's a really, really cool place. I wish you could have gone when the old bookstore was underneath Touchdown Jesus, because the new bookstore is like, that's like a mall. That's not a bookstore.
I've seen video of it here and there, and it does look very shopping center.
It's very clean. It's very clean.
Yeah, the old bookstore was literally the basement of like that's what it was. It was the basement.
I have a cousin who graduated from Notre Dame, and gosh, what was that, like 94 or something like that. And she's just like she goes back to Notre Dame. She's like, this place is so nice right now. Like when she was there, like she stayed in Lewis Hall, which is a women's dorm behind the dome. Like if you were walking like down God Quad, you walked like through the dome, and then there's like another traffic circle behind you kind of thing. There's a dorm like back and to the left, not quite behind the grotto, but kind of over there by the lake. There's a women's dorm there. That's where she lived, and so she's like, yeah, it's so far like where Notre Dame is now versus where it was when she was a student. She was a math major or something. But anyway, she's got some funny stories about that kind of thing.
Enjoy the campus, enjoy the Saturday tailgating life, and go Irish.
Go Irish.
Go Irish. All right. Thank you,
Later, guys.
Mike, at 5'0" Pod. Check him out, friend of our show, but we are friends of his as well. And a friendly reminder to everyone, if you have your 5'0" Pod jersey and you are going to the game, or even if you're not, wear it on game day. It's not the green jersey game. That was last week. Thank God we got that out of our system. But I usually wear green anyway, but we're fans. We can wear whatever the hell we want. We get critical when it's the team wearing, playing dress up. So,
well, you know what I'm wearing, but you're not allowed to divulge it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Burlap sack for all I care. All right, let's see. We talked about Riley Leonard. We checked that up. I feel like we need a quota. We haven't really talked about Notre Dame running the football. I would like to see Price, get more action there, but we'll see. I don't know.
Hold on to the ball on kickoffs. That's for sure.
Good God, can we please do that? Like step one, right? Like step one, have 11 people on the field. Step two, don't fumble the opening kickoff.
We do not need to give Stanford any false hope. So
please, no, right? Let's not help out and play down to our competition, right? Stanford is, I think, a team in flux, right? They're 2-3 right now. Let's make that 2-4. That's all I gotta say, and let's keep winning. I think if we keep winning, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll definitely make the playoffs if we win out. We drop another game to a Georgia Tech or something. God forbid a Service Academy. I think our chances of making the playoffs fall precipitously. So I'm not saying like it's playoff or bust, but like now that we have that one loss already, and you throw another one in. Especially, and I will say this, especially since we are technically favored in every single game, right? You go down Sagarin, teamrankings.com, even just statistically, some of the stuff we've talked about today and last night. Notre Dame should win out on every single game. Whether they dominate is another story. But, I mean, Notre Dame is favored by what, 23, 24 points tomorrow?
Let's
or Saturday?
hypothetical this. Should Notre Dame's next loss, say it does come to a Service Academy?
Ugh.
Let's say it's Army.
Okay. That would be our first Shamrock Series loss ever.
Should it finally come to an end then?
Shamrock Series?
Yes.
Well, I've said that years ago that it should end.
I
with the exception of the Vegas game.
And I've said this before on your show. I get why people like it because it gives them that live in different areas of the country a chance to see them when they ordinarily wouldn't get to. I point to this weekend and say that anything is doable and possible if you allocate the right way.
Well, and you just plan ahead. We've been promoting this game for Saturday for like a year. I mean, fucking yourself, Stevie D. Irish, all these people, we've said, come, and like, this is the game we're going to do it,
But unless they end it soon, the loss is coming. We just don't know when.
Is this like De La Salle? Like you got the 11-year win streak and then it's
coming.
Like, it's just inevitable. It's just
eventually Notre Dame is going to have another 2016.
Ooh.
And very fortunate they won the Shamrock Series that year.
Yeah, and that was against Army in Texas.
So I'm just saying, cool. We either need to restrict the Shamrock Series to some ho-hum cupcake every year.
So here's the deal. What I didn't like is when the Shamrock Series, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, like 4 weeks from now or whatever, but when the Shamrock Series was like every year and it was like predictable, I didn't like that. And it's like, we're playing in the Alamo Dome, or we're playing in Lucas Oil against fucking Purdue, or we're playing in, where the Ravens play against Maryland. Like, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, nothing against the Ravens or whatever. But it's like, that doesn't seem very exciting. Now, when they played Arizona State down in Dallas in Jerry's World, that was decent. And sickest jerseys, by the way. Those are my all-time favorite.
And it was a very good game.
It was a good game. Okay. And then I didn't like the one in 2018 against Army. Oh no, that was against Syracuse, where they had the pinstripes. I know you're a Yankees fan, but I didn't like that. I have a reserved rant waiting for that show. I will not crack that.
I'll
vault
let you
open
have
today.
to deal with Luis because his picture is him wearing that pinstripe jersey.
I did see that. I know that burned my ass when I saw that, but I was like, son of a bitch. It's fine though. Maybe he's a Yankee fan too, for all we know. All right. that would explain his commitment to excellence, right? So yeah. So anyway, that being said, although he's a Raider fan, so I'm not sure where that ends up. But the Notre Dame has rescheduled the Shamrock Series game against Wisconsin at Lambeau. Like, that's decent. Now the game in Vegas, the location, super cool. BYU, not so cool. Like, I would prefer it was like something else. But like, say Notre Dame played Colorado in Mile High in Denver. Like, that's legit, especially now with all this Deion Sanders bullshit. You know, like,
well, they would spank them because,
well, and I'd be okay with that. But like, you know, that would be decent for that part of the country. You know, I would actually prefer like home and home, you know, games against Oregon and home against Penn State. Like I'd rather do that kind of stuff personally. Play UCLA at SoFi. You know, like pick these big stadiums. Now we're kind of sort of doing that with Georgia Tech ish. You know, it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's a big stadium.
Well, have you ever been to Bobby Dodd Stadium?
No.
It is not. It's not terrible, but I mean it's old. It's not the greatest stadium to see a game at.
Well, I believe it.
I've been there.
Yeah. That's Georgia Tech's, right?
The dome is better. Yes.
Oh, well, no doubt. Yeah. Well, and some of this stuff is like it's money related, you know. You know, obviously they serve alcohol at this stuff. But I mean, I was at Purdue and they served alcohol there. You know, Notre Dame doesn't serve alcohol in the stadium, you know, so you have to take your road beers and then, you know, pound them right before you get in, walk through the metal detectors and through security. And so that's
you
why
can walk across campus just
Yeah, you basically open can you can open
see, that is
container.
insane to me.
Why?
You can't have them at the stadium, but you can walk through campus all you want.
I wouldn't go through the Basilica that way. That just
obviously not. But you get what I'm saying.
As long
as you're outside, you have open container all day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. I mean, everyone's doing it. I've seen people walking around with coolers and stuff, just like, you know, whatever. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, and I think some of that has to do with some of my overall opinions of you know, the stadium atmosphere and opportunities for improvement or how it becomes louder, and we've talked a little bit about that, but I don't want to soil your expectations because having gone to Purdue, I had pros and cons about it. The pros were the beer and the bathroom situation were really good at Purdue. The cons were way too many ads. I couldn't hear the you know, announcer loudspeaker guy. The stats were really small. You know, and Purdue fans, I mean, it's Purdue fans, right? So they're kittens, you know, they're not hostile. You know,
they're waiting for basketball season.
They are, right? So, it is a basketball engineering school, right? And a bunch of my coworkers are there. So, well, we're an hour and 15-ish almost in. If anyone else here, I see Dom on mute. You've been on mute for a while, man. You gonna jump on or maybe?
Hey, what's going on?
Are you working? Are you working out at home or something?
No. I was mowing and taking care of the yard work before the big weekend. I'm pumped for that.
Yeah. Make sure you keep your crabgrass down below 8 inches. Our lovely city sent me a citation. I didn't get a fine or anything, but I did get a nasty warning letter basically saying mow your lawn. I'm like, are you serious? Like, have you driven around my neighborhood? Like, anyway. Well, I'm glad you're doing your yard work.
Yeah, I'm like a quarter mile technically out of Greenwood, so I'm good on that front.
There was some kid mowing his grass when we were pulling into your neighborhood.
Okay.
And I'm like, this kid needs to be in school. What's going on?
Maybe he's homeschooled. Oh, no, it's fall break right now. It's fall break. That's why.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
It's fall break right now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, I just a couple things real quick. First off, I think Friday night we're going to have to get some good wine for the ladies so we can sneak out. First things first. Well, we don't have to sneak out, but, you know, maybe get them a bottle deep and be like, hey, you know,
we're going to
yeah.
We're going to Uber to Corby's. We can use my brother. He'll be our DD. Because he's off the booze, so. I shouldn't say use my brother.
Better for us and better for him.
Yeah.
Utilize his talents.
Utilize his decision making as an adult. That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
No, I'm with you.
Absolutely.
I do have one question, Dom. Are you going to be at our meeting tonight?
No, I will not be at the meeting tonight.
I have to run it. I don't know if you caught it earlier. Our
Good luck.
pastor literally tried calling me while I was podcasting here with Coach Parseghian.
Yeah, I was laughing pretty good when I heard that.
So I actually almost picked up, and I would have been like, okay, let's put this. Like, I don't think he would want that though. So it's not his vibe. So
Yep.
we're tight. I don't think we're that tight. So
That's right. Hey, as far as the Stanford game goes, I did hear a couple callers on yesterday's show and today say, hey, it's going to be a good chance for Riley Leonard to show his arm and maybe get some passing yards a little bit. I said the same thing about Northern Illinois, and I wish I wouldn't have. I wish they would have just stuck with.
You were at that game.
This is any other team. We come to win the game. Let's not try to make something happen that's not there, because apparently Riley Leonard's passing game is not there.
No, it's not, and we kind of broke down where it was, versus Louisville and this game and that game, and it seems tempting to throw against them, but I mean, 122nd ranked passing defense, that if this was pretty much any other, I mean, shit, even if Drew Pine was our quarterback, can I say that? I mean, like Pine's best game was against USC, and I trusted Pine, in the ability to find receivers and connect, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that should be like
as long as the offensive lineman's not in his way.
Well, that's true too. But I guess I think what this game should be. Now, I said this about Miami of Ohio, but that we should have a game that goes similar to the Purdue game. Right. I think we outclass and out-athlete Stanford up and down. I mean, their 4-year recruiting average is actually the best of any team we've played thus far. 34.3. I don't know what Texas A&M. No, Texas A&M was 10.8. But other than Texas A&M, they're the most talented team, more talented, quote unquote, 4 years recruiting over Louisville. Now, I don't know where the transfer portal is, right? Because that's now a wild card. So maybe this line in this, line 15 of this tab is wrong. But point being, Notre Dame on paper, has more talent, 9.3 versus 34.3. But the execution, the output of what we're seeing with Stanford with that talent, totally underperforming in my opinion. So I don't know. Well, I think we might call it good there. If anyone else has any other final thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, we wanted to get Coach in here in the studio, give you a little breather from some windshield time in the car, and
it's been long, but it's still been fairly quick at the same time.
Yeah, that's good.
The traffic moved very smoothly.
Yes, yes, and hopefully you're not in rush hour on 465 getting out of Indianapolis. So,
hey Joe, are you going to dedicate any time about these kind of recruitment issues for the next couple of weeks?
Can you repeat that?
What recruitment issues?
Yeah,
Notre Dame's.
Yeah, we've lost a couple of people.
I mean, we talked about Deuce Knight and some of these other. I will say this. I think the transfer portal and NIL has made recruiting less fun.
Big time.
Recruiting used to be really fun, like, oh, check out these guys. And then when they signed, they were, like, committed. And you needed, like, a really good lawyer or something. Like take Alohi Gilman. He had to sit out for a year to transfer from the Naval Academy over to Notre Dame, right? Like, that kind of shit doesn't happen anymore, right?
Well, the military academies, their contracts are more ironclad than your standard.
Yeah, because you need like your congressman to sign off on it. You know what I'm saying? But
it basically gets you out of military service.
Yeah. So like that's I think a very unique situation, right? But like the rules of the NCAA with Alohi Gilman would have applied to pretty much any other player in I just used that one as an example, right? Because he wasn't a grad transfer, like say Brandon Joseph when he came over from Northwestern, for example, right? Or who's another one? Sam Hartman, Jack Cohn, right? Mm-hmm. So some of these other guys, who just came over. I haven't, to answer William's question, I haven't really, other than the Deuce Knight thing, just because, it's hard to turn on X without seeing it. I haven't really been paying attention to some of these other guys. And quite frankly, and this has always been my position of recruiting, is like we've had big recruits, anyone from pick your favorite recruit that just didn't pan out at Notre Dame. People who transfer, people who just can't cut it out. Like Greg Bryant, that's a great example. Someone with tons of talent did make it on the field, looked like a touchdown waiting to happen, but just it didn't work out from him, either academically, cracking into, getting through, the three-headed monster situation under Kelly in 2014, to Tony Alford leaving and kind of losing his mentor, and then he transfers, and then
Everett Golson with so much success in his first year.
Yeah.
Cheating scandal.
Well, then he cheats, and then
come back, and it's like,
prodigal
yes,
son return.
We can be good again,
and we were good. Going into that Florida State game, we were fantastic.
Up until the screw job that was Florida State, and then it was all downhill from there.
Well, and really the ASU game was stupid, and I blame Kelly on that one. But with him, it was like it was all mental, and so it's just like, and by the end of that season, it's like, why is he still in there? He's a liability. And then Malik Zaire, and that glory happens, which I have a soft spot in my heart for Malik Zaire.
So do I.
And I'd love to get him in this chair as well with us. So, we'll see how things go. Back to William's question about me and recruiting. To be perfectly honest, I haven't seen anything else other than Deuce Knight. And number two, I don't pay as much attention to recruiting, because of the NIL and transfer situation, and define commitment now in this era of college football, right? That seems like it's like a wet noodle there. And even before all the rule changes in the NCAA here with NIL and transfer, I was always like, well, you just have to make it through Notre Dame. You have to make it through practice. You have to crack the starting job or the depth chart or what have you. And then once I see you on the field, then I really know, like, okay, was this cool? Like, other than that, we're just looking at, great clips of guys in high school, which is tight. It's fun, and there's all these guys, and there's all this hope and promise, but that's all it is. It's just hope. Yeah, this looks awesome, but like I think Notre Dame, here's what I will say, and this has always been my position about recruiting: just win. If we win, recruits will fall like manna from heaven and say, I want to be part of that team because that's a team that's winning. You're part of a team that's winning. You're in the national spotlight. You're right. You're a team that's winning. They tend to have the better programs, facilities, the athletes, the ability to get the NFL, that kind of stuff. All of that kind of feeds into that, and you don't get there unless you win. And success draws success. Guys that were successful in high school or were MVPs of Pop Warner or what have you, they always wanted to be with the best, and so the best attracts the best.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, I wish that was enough, but the problem is that the wide receivers and quarterbacks of top calibers that can actually go to the next level seem to be treating us like a leper colony for some time now. I mean, I can't even remember the last time we had
because we don't have a quarterback
wide receiver
that's with them right now.
Right, and that too. I mean, it goes hand in hand, right? If people don't think that the wideouts that dropped their commitments to Notre Dame this year had nothing to do with Deuce Knight, then they're fooling themselves.
Yeah.
And my point is that there's something going on internally in Notre Dame not to have these. I'm not even talking about upper echelon 4-star or even 5-star. I'm just talking about solid receivers that are at high school level that are being scouted out that can make that next level. And then to your point, it doesn't seem like our coaching staff, even under Kelly, could develop these guys or coach them up. And something's got to give. That's the kind of issues I was kind of trying to get at.
Yeah,
and I didn't know your thoughts on that.
It's funny. I was thinking about this last night while I was doing the dishes, and I was thinking back to like where have the good receivers gone? I feel like this is some like 80s pop song. Where have you gone? I actually don't know what song that would be, but like go back to the Weiss years. I know this is like way back in the time machine, but you had Golden Tate, you had Jeff Samardzija. Now technically he came in through Ty, but argument still stands, right? Golden Tate, Maurice Stovall, Michael Floyd. You had these like marquee Rima McKnight, marquee, go-to receivers that were part of the Weiss years. I want to know, and none of those guys maybe. Did Floyd come in 09 with No, Floyd came in afterwards because he was with Kelly too. So Clausen was already there. But I guess my point is like Weiss had this ability to attract the star talent. Now, Weiss also ran a pro style offense that featured the good wide receivers really well. Okay. So maybe that had something to do with it as well. But he also had good quarterbacks, i.e. in Clausen and Quinn, right, to do that. I think it would be interesting how Weiss would behave and perform without those two guys. It felt like with Kelly, he was always like looking for his good quarterback, and he kind of had one. There was a lot of promise there with Golson, but then we saw what happened there. And then I do think it was there with Deshaun Kaiser, but then we just had other nonsense going on other parts of the football and a lack of leadership and this, that, and the other. And so, I do think some of the pieces have been there. Now, we fast forward to the present.
You also had Brian Van Gorder.
Well, that's my point. Yeah, the other side of the football was just dog shit. You could have given a chimp with a dry erase board, and that would have been maybe just as good. Sorry, Brian Van Gorder. But I guess the I don't know where the wide receiver or why the wide receiver talent is not there. Maybe it's a quarterback discussion. I don't know. Maybe all the good wide receiver, it's kind of like it. You have to have an attitude to have to be a wide receiver, quite frankly, right? You have to have a lot of confidence in yourself, and does that kind of personality gel with Notre Dame today? I don't know. And I know these are kind of like macro questions that people don't like asking and make people uncomfortable, but that is true. That is a real thing. It's probably easier to be a flashy wide receiver at Miami than it is at Notre Dame.
Well, I think it's exactly, they have no idea who the quarterback is going to be or whether or not Freeman is going to go back to the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And bring in somebody that has no idea about the offense,
you need stability.
Idea about the team.
Who's throwing me the ball?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, and maybe that's one of the arguments of just start playing Carr, one of these other guys now, because then you start building that resume or that trust or that relationship, and then it's like, aha, this guy's clearly going to be in the position for a few years. I'll go there, and then again, success draws success. Other good high school receivers see that and say, I want to go there. It's really a funny piece there. For the eighth stat that is most important, i.e. passing touchdowns. We should be 12th ish in the country. I could run the standard deviation on that. That's on another tab, but I won't bore people with that. We're nowhere near that, and I think if we were in like the 40s ranked or 30s, I think this would be a completely different conversation. I think the real conversation, not to belittle what William's talking about here, is we're ranked 108th in passing touchdowns. It's really bad. It's not the worst thing we're bad at. Oh, but look what the worst is. Passing yards. Now, I would argue that
goes in hand to hand. What I'm saying is that it seems like our coaching staff can't coach these kids up.
Yeah. I mean, third down offense, we're 103rd, so that's not good. Completion percentage is actually okay. It's 46 in the country, but no, continue. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I'm just saying it just seems like, it's the chicken and the egg phenomenon. What comes first? You can't win if you don't have good recruits. You can't get recruits unless you win.
Yeah.
And then and the only way you can stop that cycle is you have a coaching staff that can drill it in their heads and make them execute flawlessly every time. I mean, people can say what they say about certain other coaches, like Saban. Saban demanded excellence.
Yeah.
And I think they're a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in these during day-to-day operations in Notre Dame, but it doesn't seem that these guys are getting it.
Yeah.
Like they don't. They're not stepping up to
Well,
that next level.
And let me turn it another way. So this is Freeman's third year. Freeman historically was a defensive player and a defensive coach, defensive coordinator. What side of the football is excellent? It's the defense. So,
it's this defense. I totally understand that.
And so the whole point where I'm going is that's his home base. So and if I had to pick a side of the ball that I want to be more stable, I'm going to pick the defense over the offense, right? But what I will say is this: he's still feeling out. This is his third year at Notre Dame and his third OC. It's also his third starting quarterback. Now, and even if he hadn't gone to the portal and he had stayed with Angeli or something, it still would be a new starting quarterback, for him. So I think this is just one of those weird cycles of where the program is, in addition to him, A, feeling out being a head coach, and B, stabilizing, quote, his staff. I think now that he's signed over Golden and Denbrock now, I think it's safe that they're going to be around for a little while, which is good for us as a program. So now that's where it starts, okay, plant the flag, dig in the trenches, dig deep, heels down, and now let things cook. And I think that's maybe where the fan base is saying, well, if that's the case, then why don't start the young guy, right? Why not go with Minchie or Carr?
If I could jump in real quick too, if you're 16 years old again, and you're a star running back, quarterback, or wide receiver, and you're looking at the Notre Dame program right now, you have a quarterback that doesn't like to throw the ball. They're relying on his legs, and they're not taking him off the field. You have stud running backs that aren't getting the ball, and you have receivers that are well capable that also aren't getting the ball. If you're a star at any of those positions, why would you choose Notre Dame?
Yeah. There has to be maybe another reason why you want to go to Notre Dame, or that whole 40-year versus 4-year decision, right? Which is kind of counterintuitive to some of the mentality of these players. It's like I want people to go to Notre Dame for the 4-year and 40-year decision kind of MO, but simultaneously, I would also want to support them in the short term as far as like getting to the next level, selling out for football glory, getting to the pros, this, that, or the other. I would prefer, and this is, maybe a pipe dream, but Notre Dame lives in both sides of the Venn diagram there, not just one, which is really the 4-year, 40-year decisions. I think that's what Dominic's getting at. I mean, for crying out loud, last year in the bowl game, our best receiver was on the lacrosse team. And he's been kind of quiet this season.
Was it him or Greathouse that had an injury recently?
Oh, don't tell me it was either. I think it was Faison though. I don't think it was Greathouse. Greathouse had one in the summer, spring.
Okay.
Yeah, and he, as far as I know, Greathouse is healthy. So anyway. All right. Well, we're about an hour and a half plus in. I think we're gonna call it there. You gotta get yourself up to Notre Dame. I've got to prepare for a Knights of Columbus meeting, and I have to call back my pastor. I'm like, oh, hello, Father. Go ahead, Dom.
I was going to say one more thing real quick that I heard earlier. If Riley Leonard passes for more than 270 yards, I'll eat half a ghost pepper post-game.
Oh.
If you fire back up the tailgate.
Okay. Well, okay, here's the deal. Quick discussion on that. So most likely the doc will have the vehicle and will take it away from us. So we'll either have to, plant some in a baggie in a
that
planter.
Should get through the metal detector.
Oh yeah, we could just keep them in our pocket actually. Yeah, we'll just do that. We'll do it in the stadium on the field. No, not on the field, but we could do it in the stadium.
You could do it in the stadium.
We could do it in the stadium. Yeah, we could slip it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
Easy.
Yeah, put it in a baggie. It'd be like a slick handshake in the bathroom. Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
All right. So maybe that's the thing. So what was this? Riley Leonard throws for 271 yards
Yes.
or more,
271.
Yep.
which is above
Yep.
the average of Stanford, we eat ghost peppers.
Yep. Yes.
All right.
Yep. Let's do it.
I'm down with this. I think we should do
Let's
that.
put some spicy where the mouth is.
That'll suck for the drive back to Indianapolis the next day, but you know, it is. Speaking of the drive, are we caravanning up or what's the deal? Maybe we should have a meeting tomorrow.
Meeting would probably be good.
have a
I don't
meeting.
know if we have enough room for a caravan.
No. Like
honest with
we follow each other. Like your vehicle, our vehicle.
Oh. Yeah. We'll have a meeting tomorrow. We're planning on leaving pretty early, though.
Okay. Well, I mean, Red Snapper's gonna force me to get up, so we'll see where we're at there. So cool.
Yeah, maybe we can find a good brunch place that has some alcoholic beverages or something.
I am in support of this. I heard they started selling beer at Cracker Barrel, so
That they have.
So, all right, have a Miller Lite with your waffles or pancakes there. All right, I think we're gonna call it there. Really appreciate everybody for jumping on. It was fun. This is kind of the quick salute toast prior to jumping up to Notre Dame. We'll get some fun music going out here. But yeah, I think we are definitely looking forward to the tailgate. Let us know if you want to meet. If you're not sitting with us, that's fine. But you're going to be, people like Kevin or Nolan or people or Jason or people who are sitting elsewhere. Go ahead and hit us up. I think we'll be able to hang out with you guys and obviously tailgate, or we'll see each other at the player walk or something to that effect. So, Coach, any last thoughts?
This has been fantastic. Amazing, awesome start to the Stanford week, and I cannot wait to see what the rest of the week unfolds.
I'm very happy for you, very excited. I was thinking of this morning. There was a conversation I had with you and my brother, and how it was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. It would take me forever to find it again, but it's a clip from you saying like, man, I would just love to go up there, spend a couple days, go to the bookstore, drop a bunch of money, and that's going to happen.
That has crossed my mind several times over the last week at least.
Nice.
So
yeah, it's going to be great. I'm very excited for you and for what's in store for you as a fan, as a Notre Dame fan. So we'll go out with that.
Hey, Coach, light a candle at the grotto for me, will you?
that is on the to-do list, I promise.
Brilliant. Yes. All right. Well, safe drives to you, and I'm going to call Father Todd. Go Irish.
Go Irish.
Go Irish, beat Stanford.